now joined by the IDF spokesperson, Jonathan Conricus, right now, and he'd been constantly updating us about what's been happening. Jonathan, the ground offensive has been on, and there are a lot of visuals of tunnels that have surfaced of how they were being misused. Now there's a reference to a mosque as well. But the hostage deal currently is the big update that's come. Can you tell us a bit more about it, of how and why has the government decided to go ahead with it, and who are we expecting to possibly be released this time?
Hello, good morning, and thank you for having me. Well, hopefully we will see the release of 50 Israeli civilians, women and children, from Hamas captivity. They've been in captivity now for 46 days and nights after they were violently taken from their homes in Israel. And if everything goes according to the agreement, and that is a big if, because Hamas is a corrupt and deceitful organization. We cannot trust them, hold them at their word. So we will have to be very vigilant. But if everything happens according to plan, then we should see in installments of at least 10 hostages released every day. And there may be additional hostages released after the 50 are released, but the deal is for 50. We're talking about Israeli nationals, some of them with dual nationality. I don't know the breakdown of the nationalities yet, but some of them with dual nationalities. And it will be happening parallel to a temporary pause in combat activities.
This also is reflective of Hamas clearly is keeping women and children specifically in many ways, whether as human shields in Gaza or as hostages here. Jonathan, but there was a speculation and concern that the ceasefire, so to say, could help Hamas regroup again and attack Israel and the IDF even more while they're on the ground. So what is the caution that the IDF will be taking at this point to ensure that these 4 days do not let the Hamas regroup, and what will be the next step with regard to the ground offensive?
Well, yes, you're very correct. You know, last time that we had a ceasefire, an official internationally brokered ceasefire with Hamas, was in 2014. And that ceasefire was violated by Hamas, and they used the ceasefire in order to attack Israeli troops in Rafah, in southern Gaza, and they abducted, or they took the body of a dead Israeli officer, and they have been holding on to his body ever since 2014. So we have that memory from Hamas. We know that we have to be vigilant. There is no doubt that Hamas has been begging for this ceasefire in order to replenish and perhaps get our boot off their neck. They've been desperate about it, and that is why they are now willing to release these hostages. We will be vigilant on the ground, and we will continue to monitor the activities from the air and other locations. And once the temporary pause is over, we will be at Hamas again. The aim of the war still remains very simple: to dismantle Hamas and to bring back all of the hostages.
Right, I appreciate you joining us. Jonathan Conricus, he's from the IDF, he's a spokesperson. He had been on the ground as well in Gaza and is constantly updating us. It's going to be a big moment for hostages to be released. But remember, we're talking about 240. 50 is still a small number. We're talking about many more hostages still in captivity, including women and children. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for joining us.